Hello, Charles. How you doing? Hello, Miss Diane. Well, did y'all have a good trip, Scott? You find anything really interesting? Man, that was a fast 2 weeks. Hello, Moonlight. How you doing today? Miss Sandy, how you doing, girl? Split both ways, huh, Moonlight? Well, Scott, did you find anything interesting while you were up there? Ah, that'd be great, man. You sure welcome. Is petrified wood harder to solve than most of the other rocks, Scott? Hey, Ron, Becky, how y'all doing? Depends. No, we ain't talking about drawers. No, we're talking about rock. Okay. Oh, this night's starting off that way already. Oh, damn, I read that wrong. I thought you said agitated. Hello, she devil. Roy comes in here getting his cookies right off the bat. That's what he put in chat. You're the one that's talking about petrified wood now. Me and Scott were having a straight up conversation. Wasted days and wasted nights. I know what you. Yeah, they that way in here sometimes. Agitated, petrified wood. Hmm. She devil, how you doing, girl? Poor old Roy can't say nothing. Becky will hit him upside the head with that skillet again. Damn, I read that wrong for a minute. Okay. Hmm. Well, it sounded like y'all had a good trip, Scott. That old fairy dust. Well, how did the pugs like traveling? Not going there. Wow, that's neat. Them are some pretty animals, aren't they, Roy? Well, that's good. We wear them out. And one thing about it, a trip like that, a lot of the time will bond them dogs to you a whole lot closer because they're not in their environment. Our environment shrinks where they're comfortable. That is a neat sound. I'm sat up there by a campfire in Colorado, be sort of staring off that fire and hearing them elk bugle and squeal and raise sand. Now, that's an experience everybody ought to have. I don't think there's a pretty animal in the world than a big old bull elk. Maybe I better change that. I don't think there's a prettier four-legged animal. Oh, that's good, Roy. I'll have to look at that. You know, some people make a pretty good living collecting them antlers. They crown them before they turn white. They bring some good money. Bouncing off the wall, huh? Hello, Mr. James. How you doing tonight? I ain't going there. Yeah, they might make you howl at the moon, huh? A lot of money. It's 72 here now, but it's supposed to get down in the 60s, I think. That's good fireplace weather. It's still so dry here. I'm a little scared to light a fire. You know, if it could be about 40 at night and about 80 in the daytime, that's perfect weather for me. Oh, that's good, James. Yep, yep. Oh, I had to look at that bear skin and see how that was spelled. Hello, Linda Barker. I'm doing great. You got enough internet to come up, Roy? Hello, Hawkins family. How you doing tonight? Let's give her a shot then. I tell you what, I like a jacuzzi, but I'm not too crazy about a hot tub. It knocks me out, or as hot as most people run. Hello, Miss Janice. How you doing, girl? Hello, Miss Michael Ann.
Going up.
Going up what?
She's back there playing a game.
I'm getting aggravated. The game ain't working right.
So I was warning her that I was going up. Don't be cussing at any demons or something or whatever she's
Ain't
trying
no
to kill.
demons. She's being stupid.
See?
She's trying to whip everybody.
You okay, Janice?
Can you?
Boy, them elk are some pretty animals, aren't they, Roy?
Oh, yeah. They just kind of eerie sounding, too.
Yeah. We had an old boy that we were up there, we were elk hunting. And we eased up on the edge of the canyon. That buddy of mine is a big wild turkey hunter. Call him Turkey. And he grabbed one of them bugles and sat down on that bugle and just and then he went gobble, gobble, gobble right at the end of it. He was so used to using them turkey calls that he put a turkey call in the middle of the elk call.
One let me know tonight I got a little too close to it. Him and his women. Yeah, he looked right at me and kind of hoofed at me like a bull.
Yeah.
And I didn't plan on getting any closer anyway, but he was letting me know that's as close as you're gonna get, buddy.
They're about the biggest dog out there.
I can't go do nothing.
Yeah, they're huge.
Boy, I tell you what, that's some good eating though. You ever eat any elk?
I'd like to. I want to try it sometime. I don't know where to get it at out here. I'm gonna research it though. Eventually, I'm gonna find it.
Where? I don't know.
You know,
I'm trying to get in my house and the girl's being spazzing.
we don't know. There was a lot. I mean, they're still out there. They're moving northwest or northeast, but they're splitting the camp, and it's.
Oh, I went to your house, huh?
I shot the short probably 2 hours ago, and they have been out here for about 3 days. But this is as close as they got to the camp. What happened was I went out there to start the generator up, and about 6 of them ran next to me in between the two campsites, and I hit them with the light and just caught the tail of them. And they just started bellowing. And so I ran back in and got the Google phone, and they had already went across the road.
She can't even walk.
Those are the ones that I kind of went across the road with, and they were all around the woods behind us, next to us, out in the field in front of us, the woods here, and they're still out there. But it's different ones because they're moving.
It's like the village is here, and it's on the other road.
I'll tell you what, they're probably going to their winter ground.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, they're bunched up that tight.
Well, see, that was another thing too. They're not really bunched up tight. They're kind of spread out a little bit.
But what I mean, a group of them are moving.
They're definitely moving together.
You get above Jackson Hole, and they migrate all the way from Yellowstone down to Jackson Hole.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they just that's why all of it. You go through Jackson Hole, and you know how all those elk horns are just everywhere. You got them stacked up, and that's because they winter there right outside Jackson Hole.
Huh.
Thousands of elk in there.
I don't know. I don't know how big this herd was. It could have been 1,000. It could have been 100. Over 50 at least, from the way it sounded. But we only laid eyes probably on 3 of them. 4. Well, I laid eyes on about 10 of them altogether. mainly we got to see 3 of them. But across the meadow, there was eyes out there. Then, like I said, you could hear them in this woods next to us, just bellowing and limbs breaking. And why'd that light just go out? There. Now I can't see nothing.
Well, see, right now they're breeding. This time of year, they're rutting. That's the reason the bulls and the cows are together.
That's what they call. We're still in Arizona, Hawkins family. Is that rutting? Is that where they rub their antlers and that on the trees?
Oh yeah,
One did that in a tree here, right behind our camp, probably about 25 feet, 30 feet off the back of Honey.
Okay, Autumn, how do I get her?
Lily noticed it today, and I thought at first when I looked, I thought somebody had used a tree for target practice, but that tree wasn't like that before, and there's no bullet holes in it. It's just all the bark's knocked off and it's scratched.
They just shred the outside. Whitetail deer do that same thing. They call it a rub.
Make the mouse.
And it's up higher too than.
Oh yeah.
About the size of an elk. So they actually came in our camp and we didn't even know it.
You can be up there this time of the year when they're rutting, and I've gone through areas where they've killed maybe an acre of trees from rubbing them like that, fighting them trees.
Wow.
And they're rubbing all the velvet stuff off. They're just getting rid of the velvet in the last 30 days probably, and some of them still got a little on there, but they're rutting right now.
That buck looked like he had velvet on his antlers.
Yeah.
Does a red circle mean it's mine?
It was pretty neat. Now, a couple years ago, me and Scott got surrounded by a small herd while we were hiking, and they were close together and running, and they didn't realize we were there. And then we hid behind these trees. We were hid behind these trees for about 20 or 30 minutes while these things grazed around us. And they took off running, and we could feel the ground shake.
It's in a little cycle.
Yeah, bull elk can get crazy.
Let me in.
They must have a really good set of ears on them too, because you can't get real close to them.
No, they're used to being hunted.
All right, this is stupid.
Yeah, they shed their antlers, Hawkins. They're deer. They shed their antlers every year. I know some people that live here in Texas who've got a pretty good sized ranch, and they raise elk. And what they do is they raise the elk for the horn. When the horns get big, they throw the horns off. And I forget how much a damn pound them things get. I mean, it's several $100 a pound.
Well, they can smell it very well. Because we've seen them hiking out in the woods, and we're trying to get close to them and get a picture. You can't get as soon as they hear you, see you, or smell you, they're gone.
I tell you what, if you get downwind of them, you smell them bulls too this time of the year. They're real. If they're really
right, I do remember that from a couple years ago from hiking, but I haven't smelled anything yet.
If they still got velvet on, they're just getting started.
Won't do nothing.
Yeah, because the antlers was black on the bull that I seen.
Well, he was already found out then.
Right now.
So if they're black, that's velvet, right?
No, the velvet will be the same color as their hair on the body.
Oh, okay.
Let me get out of here. I can't do nothing.
Used to archer hunt them. I was wondering if it was hunting season up here now for them. See, Indiana don't have elk. I think we just got. Oh, I forget the name of the deer.
Yeah,
whitetail, maybe.
Whitetail. They've got some big whitetail though. I got tickled when I was up there in Indiana. Uh, they would harvest all the corn up there. Well, then the only woods left were just
Still doing
fence
that.
rows and creeks and stuff. And I wondered how in the world somebody hunted them corn patches. Well, they don't hunt the corn; they just get on one of them creeks because it's 50 yards wide. You know, anything that comes through there on one of them creeks, well, they've got a shot at it. They're not easy to archery hunt, Scott. That's one animal I've never killed with a bow.
I lost the internet again.
That's another deer that confuses me is the mule deer. Now James has got them in Pennsylvania. They got them out here, but we don't have mule deer in Indiana.
No, you got whitetail up there. They,
And no bears. We're starting to get bears.
you know, they started to get bears down here in Texas now. Not many of them, but
Bear
some
sightings are up here too.
some of them come up from Mexico, the little bitty Mexico bears, and then we get a few in East Texas.
Mule deer in eastern Oregon.
I got my bows out and started setting it up, Diane. I haven't tried to pull it yet. We'll see if his shoulder's gonna let me do it. Or if I'm gonna have to turn them down.
Can you crossbow?
Took me out of the game.
No, regular, but I've got a crossbow, but I hate them things.
Yeah, if you're disabled in Indiana, you can use one.
Well, they got here in Texas, you can use one. But they're just clumsy. I mean, they're just hard to carry. They're noisy.
They're also coming down north out of Michigan too, Diane.
Hey, Badge, buddy.
Howdy, Badge. Yeah, when we get a bear up in northern Indiana, it's out of Michigan all the time.
Well, you know, I didn't realize it, but they had killed them all out. But the elk and bighorns and all that kind of stuff were down here in Texas, and they hunted them out. You know,
pronghorn too, I believe.
Yeah, we still got some pronghorn.
Oh, do you?
Not many of them. There's a few out in West Texas, but pronghorn travel about 50 miles. Their range is about 50 miles, and their main food is that sagebrush. And like out in West Texas here, they farm so much of that country they just knock a bunch of that sagebrush out. There's not the food's not there for them.
I had never even heard of a pronghorn or seen one until New Mexico this year. And then this year we've seen quite a few here in Arizona, up here by in the Coconino Forest. I didn't even know they were here in Arizona.
Oh yeah. Well, there's a ton of them in New Mexico.
There's like a head with headsets on.
Yeah, they just walk amongst the cows over there. Oh, they do that here too.
Okay, Autumn. I don't know what to do with her. I've logged out and logged her back in.
Well, you know, them antelope are funny. They're pretty tame until them rifles go off a couple times, and then all of a sudden they see somebody and 400 yards away, they're in a dead run. And they learn quick.
Okay, I need to figure out. All right, where are you?
A buddy of mine just got back from antelope hunt, and I hear people say antelope not good to eat, and then the next one say, "Oh, that's good," but he makes a bunch of sausage out of it. Damn, that sausage was good from them antelope.
I'd like to try antelope. I haven't seen no antelope yet. Yeah. They have those in Arizona here.
Wait a minute, say that again, Roy. You broke up.
Tab key.
I ain't seen no antelope. They have those in Arizona?
Yeah, they got them in certain areas. They're not real thick in Arizona.
Okay.
Boy, they can.
All right. Which way is my arrow
Them
pointing?
antelope are pretty animals.
This way.
You know, it's funny. Their horns now they're not a deer. Their horns they don't shed them. You know, they
Now that
keep
I can see
year
what she's
round,
doing.
and
Yeah.
their horns are actually made out of hair. It's not the same stuff a deer horn's made out of. You know.
Yeah.
And pronghorns are the antelope's cousin or something. We read in New Mexico.
Okay.
Do what?
And I can still
Somewhere in New Mexico, we read that the antelope and the pronghorns are cousins or something.
That's the same.
Yeah, they're not really an antelope, but they're the cousin to an antelope.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I did. But I couldn't. I
yeah.
Yeah,
couldn't.
I
That's
like an antelope.
very big.
All right.
Not as big as a deer.
Okay, what does it look like?
I'm fixing to go try something here in a couple months. I've always heard that these axis deer are supposed to be one of the best eating wild animals there is. And we've got
He said he gave
it's
me
a private game ranch, but they're getting too many does, too many axis does, and we're gonna go out there and kill a couple of them. I think I'll put one in the freezer. I'll find out if it's good or not. But I sure do like deer meat, and deer meat makes the best jerky there is. I think.
Jesus, what's on? Hey, Autumn, I'm not seeing the storage container.
I forget about it. Y'all got just about every kind of critter up there in Canada: badger, buffalo, and elk, antelope, bear, and some of the biggest whitetail there is up there.
Yeah.
You ever try any bear meat?
No, I'd like to though.
Everybody I've heard that don't think too much of bear meat. I tried it one time and I wasn't too crazy about it. Greasy.
Yeah, I've heard that. It ain't too appeasing. They
This
hear
is
them,
where
hear them elk out there. We're still surrounded by them. Wish you guys could hear these things.
You get down there in Louisiana, if it's still warm, it's eatable.
I don't have nothing in this.
That one's close.
You got one bugling.
Yeah. And the generator's out here running right now.
Well, you know, they're just like deer. Deer get used to things. Something's there all the time. They don't pay much attention to it.
Yeah, we do. We do have bison in
there's nothing
Indiana.
in there.
We actually got a herd they're letting roam around now. I was reading up on.
They're wild. I mean, they're free ranging.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We have some in a state park that's in captivity, and then they
You might
got
have to help
some
me here, Autumn,
that they've been releasing into the
'cause
wild
it's
that
not letting
they're
me
free
do
ranging.
anything.
You heard them?
Hold on.
There's another one there. That one was a little off.
That's neat. Well, you know, we got a several herds of bison in Texas, and it's sort of funny. You know, Amy's in Amarillo,
Mm-hmm.
and Palo Canyon is about 40 miles from there.
Go back and see if I can't.
And
What's that
the old Midnight, the guy that came up with the chuck wagon and stuff. Hello, C-Dub. Well,
Hey, C-Dub Journey.
he had a ranch in the bottom of that canyon, and they were shooting all the bison for the hides and stuff. And his wife saved 15 or 20 buffalo calves and raised them up. And that's where the Texas herd came from. She wouldn't let them come down in that canyon and hunt them.
Okay, but I don't remember how to get down there.
Hey, it's pretty neat. Has anybody heard from Amy? The last I heard from Amy, she was in the emergency room getting her rib checked out.
Yeah, she was just on Griswold's. Was it
Stuck.
last night or today? Was it last night?
There we go. Which way?
When was Amy on Griswold's?
Huh?
When was Amy on Griswold's? Was it yesterday? Whenever you did that trivia?
She was,
Last night?
I think, last night.
I think it was last night.
Is she doing okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. C-Dub, where you at right now? I mean, not particularly sure. I know C-Dub would have a smart ass answer for that.
Straight down?
C-Dub is one of the ones that I met at that local Lollapalooza.
We met C-Dubs last year courtside at Randy's camp.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, we
girl.
camped over there at Dead End Camp with Randy and them for like 2 weeks. Then we headed back east.
She's a mess, boy.
We're heading. That's where we're heading. As soon as we leave here, we're heading down there. We're staying down there all winter this time.
Yeah, every time we get down here.
Amy said she has bruised ribs. Yeah, that is right.
I was just wondering if C-Dub was coming down for that shindig here in Texas this year or not.
She did it live earlier.
So that's what, next month?
Wait a minute. Is that in Texas or New Mexico this year?
No, they got one in Abilene, Texas.
Okay, yeah, I'm not seeing any.
You're welcome, C-Dub.
He should be right here. And he's not.
C-Dub, are you gonna make the deal at Lollapalooza?
I got lag. What am I supposed to do to him?
That burn C-Dub, I didn't know you was on. I'd have got on there too.
I was real surprised the notification worked.
Oh, I got 2 things in here.
Well, C-Dub and Frugal and there were several of them that I met out there, and they roaming around.
The container.
That whole group was nice. It was pretty cool. I wish we'd have been there all winter with them. I really do. That 2 weeks we spent out there with them, we had a really good time.
Oh yeah. I don't know how they're out there, but that shindig, well, if one of them couldn't think of it, the other one could.
We roamed around New Mexico for, what was it, 2 months, I think?
Just about
2 months.
Well, we'll see you up there, C-Dub.
Ron follows the ladies. Man, it'd be cool if a big elk come up and looked in this window right here next to me.
all these weapons I can't get putting over here by him.
Gonna call it all right. You have a good one. Appreciate you coming in.
Better weapons right now than.
I'd probably jump out of the seat though.
That's it.
Want to take his head in that door?
Yeah. Hey, Mike and MJ RV Adventures, or what? I forget what their channel. I think they changed their channel name. They were camping one time right up here by Belmont, and they were asleep, and all of a sudden the camper just started rocking. They had a travel trailer, toy hauler, and it just started rocking back and forth. And Mike got up, went out, and there was a darn cow out there rubbing up against the corner, scratching its side.
Oh, Lord. You know, these electric fences that just knock fire out of you.
Yeah.
We were camping one time, and they had a damn horse that would back up against that electric fence and just rub his butt on that electric fence. And you know that thing had to be shocking the hell out of him.
Oh, yeah.
Just throw his head up and just keep rubbing his butt on that wire.
rock, dude. I'm stuck. All right.
I take the phone out and I go out, turn the
Rocky
generator
Man
off,
or
record
whatever.
some more.
That's my trouble.
Yeah,
If I get up in them mountains where
stuck.
the elk and the bear and the mule deer are, I could just stay up there and take pictures from now on.
Yeah, we haven't seen any wildlife for a while. The last wildlife I've seen, well, I think it was some elk, but seen a little small herd of pronghorn, but I ain't seen really a whole lot. This is the biggest herd right now that's walking through here. I've laid eyes on this year.
Well, you know, the north side of the Grand Canyon, I forget the name of that strip up in there. They got some of the biggest elk in the world right there.
Really?
Yeah, that's a trophy area out of this world.
Huh.
Coming inside.
They can't go too much further because right on the other side of Kendrick's Peak over here is the Grand Canyon. We're like 70 miles from it.
What the hell are they?
No, this other stuff you gotta buy. All right.
There's a row of cliffs. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Damn it. Anyway, that's where they run.
You gonna put it in here? Yes.
If you try to draw an elk permit to hunt them, it's normally up to 25 years to draw a permit.
You'll put some
Oh,
more
wow.
stuff in it then. Okay. I don't know what all I need to get rid of out of here.
CW, you getting any fishing done out there in New Mexico? That gal likes to fish. You do any fishing on your travels, Roy?
I want to. I wish I'd have got my Arizona license if I'd known we were going to spend this much time in this state. My fishing gear back in Indiana. It's getting in the rig. But I wish they would have a nationwide fishing license though.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go to every state to buy a fishing license, you're gonna have a lot of money tied up in fishing license.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do with all of them.
Well, most of those states have got a 2 or 3 day permit you can buy, but it's still not cheap.
Yeah.
But like you're going to stay in Arizona, of course, I don't guess there's any fishing much from. Well, Colorado River's not too far from Quartzsite, is it?
No, 20 miles.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's about really the only fishing I know of around that area. Lifetime fishing license in PA. I almost got Indiana's lifetime. I eventually, once we get a pattern or whatever, I don't know what states I'll have fishing license. I know Arizona's definitely going to be one.
I got to go back to Montana.
I'd love to do some fishing there.
Down below Helena, they've got one of the best wild trout rivers in the world. I fished it before. And, most of the time trout little bitty. And the average trout on that river up there is 18 to 22 inches. Well, that's a pretty good sized fish. And there's a lot of them. I caught a lot of trout up there that one weekend. I pulled the RV out there and delivered it and watched them fishing out there. And I went back to Indiana and picked another one up. I came through Nebraska and stopped at Cabela's there and bought a fly rod and some flies and stuff. And I went back in there and spent nearly a week up there fishing. Yeah, that's a different ball game, James. We got a lot of fishing in Texas. It's weird. Texas had one natural lake. That was all. Caddo
Really?
Lake. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And there was only natural lake in Texas. and they built all these dams and stuff, for flood control.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got more surface acres of water than anybody but Alaska's got. You just within 50 miles of here, I can fish 10 different lakes. I'm talking about big
Wow.
lakes.
Well, we have pretty good fishing in Indiana.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to go up there. Like I've never caught a muskie or the walleyes. Never caught one of them.
I have never caught a walleye, and I lived right next to a lake that was full of them. I caught everything in that lake but a walleye.
I think I could go up there, and that may be part of my travel this coming year. It just go someplace and just actually target some specific kind of fish that I just want to catch. I want to go back to Oregon and Washington. If I go up there, I'm gonna book me another Sturgis, book me a guided fishing trip on them Sturgis out there in that river. Them things get huge.
See if he's there, I guess.
See, Dad, we got a herd kind of working its way through camp here right now. I don't know how. It's got to be a pretty good sized herd. But we've heard them for 3 days now here. But this is really now. See, the last 2 days though, I really don't know if they were moving.
Moose.
But they're moving towards the north though. They're just walking through.
I'm stuck. Okay, there. So, I don't know. I'm not there yet. Probably. Yeah.
James, I had a trip booked out there
Got no
on
parking
those
lot.
Sturgis, and I had some folks get sick. I had to fly home, so I had to cancel it.
All right, where's Leonardo or whatever hell it is?
Get deep sea fishing.
I don't want to get on any water that I can become a fish turd in.
I tell you what, fishing and hunting license. My buddy just went and got his fishing and hunting license for a resident here in Texas. Now it's $100.
They're getting expensive everywhere.
Yeah, used to the residents were cheap.
Back in Indiana too, it was like $7, and now it's up there now. A buddy of mine was complaining about the price of it the other day, but I don't remember what they were.
I'm lucky in that I got a high enough disability. I don't have to pay that. That's one thing that's free. License plate. That's another thing. License plate for a vehicle costs $2 for if you got a high enough disability.
Yeah, there's with my disability too. I think there's some sort of deal I can do in Indiana too.
Well, if you're high enough, you can get that national wheel, Roy, and it won't cost you anything to go into any national park.
Yeah, we have that. We got, in fact, we got that about a year ago. I got warned by a bull elk earlier that I was getting a little too close. Though I wasn't going any further than I had went, but he looked at me and said, "That's far enough, buddy. You can get close to my women out here." Oh, dropped up, man, yeah. Whew.
Yeah. It used to be cheap in Texas, but it ain't no more.
It's confusing on him.
Yeah, I know it. Now that's a hunting, fishing license and saltwater tags. I mean, you're buying everything except a duck stamp, C-Dub. That's turkey tags, deer tags, javelina tags, the state duck stamp. You got to have a saltwater fishing license and a freshwater fishing license. So that's all that in that $100-something deal.
That ain't him.
I'm trying to make up my mind, Roy. I got the cab over now that I'm gonna start running in, and
Knows.
the I sure wouldn't like to. I'm gonna take that motorcycle with me for sure. But I've been thinking about throwing a little old trailer together,
Daughter's carrot.
where I could throw one of my kayaks up on top of that trailer and have a motorcycle underneath it, lock all that stuff up. I like to fish out of them kayaks.
Yeah, I haven't fished out of a kayak.
Well, I'm building them things out of cedar.
Okay, well, it's running me
You too, C-Dub.
You be good, C-Dub. Appreciate you coming in, gal.
Oh, this is probably picking up that uppy cool sitting there running right by the laptop.
Did you meet Frugal out there too?
No. Well, no. As far as I know, we didn't.
She's got a big cab over camper.
Yeah.
Oh, no. There was nobody in the truck camper out there. Yeah. There was quite a few in the camp, but I can't remember who was all. I know Joni's Journey was there. There's this way. Living Free.
Camper Van
Kevin. Gone Boondocking. C-Dubs. Oh my gosh, I know I'm forgetting about half of them.
I had to go around with the VA yesterday over that.
How do you get into your horse's skills on it?
Homer and Kathy were there. I think Buckeye Kitty was there.
They made an appointment for me and told me it was going to be the 20th of January. I said, no, don't make no appointment for the 20th of January for me.
Oh,
what is that doing to me?
Yeah, if you can fish in Texas in the if you got a lake that's inside a state park, you don't have to have a fishing license. But part of it's out of the state park, then you got to have them.
Oh my God!
Oh, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Now in Indiana, if you're on a private pond, you don't have to have one. But if it's fed, if it's spring fed, you don't have to have it. If it's fed from
see him by the
an above ground creek or water river or something, then you got to have one.
Yeah, private lakes, you don't have to have them out here.
I don't see you, but he's annoying.
Fairy dust, I'm not a fly fisherman. I can do it.
God, he's a pain in my ass.
In Texas, there's too damn much brush on the banks and stuff. You're continually being tangled up. C-Dub, you have a great night, girl. C-Dub just cracked me up.
She tripped camp with. We had a blast out there.
No, I want to make that deal of these this year, and I think that's about the 20th of January, isn't it?
Yeah, probably about the third week.
See,
usually when that big tent stuff's going on.
It's creeping me out.
I'm gonna try to. I think I'm gonna try to leave here between Christmas and New Year's and head for Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I may go by Big Bend. I don't know. It just depends. Big Bend's usually pretty full around Christmas time. A lot of people spend Christmas and New Year's out there. But then I want to go by and see Steve, and I'm going to do a little scouting when I see Steve and pick his head a little bit about some good places to deer hunt out there in Arizona. And then I'll just sort of drift on toward Quartzsite. Well, Steve got that Jeep fixed up, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's the setup that I'd like to look for when we get ready to buy. It's just right height, right tires, winch, all that. But Becky wants a 4-door, so it has to be a 4-door.
Them things, them 4-door nice. I'll tell you what, I'm in love with them 4-door pickups.
Yeah.
Man, they're good looking rigs.
I totally lost on them.
A friend of ours got one.
I don't know where I'm supposed to go.
He loves it. I thought about looking at one of them eventually.
Hey, high. Yeah.
Yeah, way high, way too, and even the Ford regular pickup truck now is even too high.
All of them are.
Yeah,
I got a funny feeling they're going to eat some of them vehicles this year.
I think so too. I really do.
It finally got them too high. I was telling them last night, yesterday I went by the Harley shop and looked at a trike. $50,000 for a damn 3-wheel motorcycle. Now that's great.
Wow, that's went up. Gosh, the last time we looked at one, what was it? 26,000, I think, was for a trike.
Yeah, they used to be about 30,000. They've gone up $20,000 in the last 18 months.
Wow. Yeah, me and Becky, before we decided to do this lifestyle, we almost bought one because I can't do a regular bike because of my back. So we come real close signing paper on a trike.
Well, they had one sitting on the showroom floor. There was a 2010. They wanted $39,000 for it. And, you know, that damn bike 13 years old.
Hey, you know what we learned when we was looking for a trike? You know Honda doesn't build a trike?
No,
I didn't know that.
no.
Because you see them all over. You see Honda Goldwing trikes all over, but that's an aftermarket kit that the dealer puts on. Because Honda won't build anything with 3 wheels because of the 3-wheelers they all got sued on in the 80s.
Yeah. How you doing, Ernie?
Yeah, when we were looking, we hadn't made up our mind whether it was going to be a Harley or a Honda because the Goldwings were supposed to be so comfortable.
I tell you what, I love Harleys, but I gotta say, I think Honda builds a better bike, a more reliable bike than the Harley.
I was looking for comfort because of my back.
Oh yeah.
And even a lot of the Harley guys that was in the debate back home, they were saying go with the Goldwing if you're wanting comfort. Go get one.
I tell you, the best one out there, but they haven't got their working on them, and they haven't got enough dealers, and that's that 3-wheel. Oh shit, can't think of the name of them right now.
Oh, my cousin just bought one last week too. I know what you're talking about.
Spiders.
Yeah.
Now them things are comfortable and they run, but damn, they got a price tag on them, and it's hard to get them worked on.
I just passed one out here on one of these forest roads. I couldn't believe I was seeing my eyes. It was one of them spiders coming at me.
Yeah, they're getting
they're low to the ground. They're real low to the ground.
Oh yeah.
Nope,
Did you get you a trailer ordered, Diane? Yeah, okay. Well, what them prices is dropping on them trailers, you can get a good deal on one here for long.
Yeah.
I tell you what, you know, stuff is just right now. They've closed 3 or 4 of the Harley plants.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to get one, so they just jack the price up.
concerns of Bobby Warren.
And then didn't Indian come back or something? Because
Okay,
a few of my buddies have bought some Indians.
Get out of here.
Indian,
Yeah.
they good bikes, but it's the same thing. They don't have many dealers.
Yeah,
You know,
I didn't think there was a lot of dealers out there.
Yeah. That's the one thing about Harley and Honda and Yamaha. You know, every damn town's got a dealer on them. Get them worked on.
Yeah, a friend of mine just bought an Indian. He put it on Facebook, and it's got leather bags and looks the things that hang off your sleeves, the streamers or the for
Yeah.
leather. It's all the bags have that on them. It looks pretty cool, actually.
Dang, Ernie. Well, you be safe there, bud. Oh, yeah.
Keeps wanting me to go back to
I wonder if they ever got any electricity crank back up in Florida again. They said that whole state was basically out of electricity.
This is not making sense.
My buddy's house in Fort Myers lost one shingle, and he's happy he's getting a whole brand new roof. Wasn't nothing wrong with his roof to start with. He lost one shingle.
Well, I've already got 3 phone calls in the last 3 days of people want me to crawl in a truck and haul loads of plywood and shingles and stuff like that out here from Texas.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I got a bunch of people I know in the construction business. And they pay good money to do it. But damn, you take a sheet of plywood that costs $30 here, you get out there where they can't get it, and they'll get $50-$60 a sheet for it, you know.
Yeah,
So,
just as the price of lumber was coming down, it's about to go back up, I think.
Yeah.
Figures, and we're getting ready to start the build in here, and now lumber's going to go up.
I don't think it affected here too much, but
No, you actually know what drove the price of lumber up? I seen it on the news out here. 2 years ago when it started going up, it was Arizona.
How come?
As far as you could see, it was stick building everywhere, from people leaving California and moving here and that. Yeah, they on the news said that because of all the construction going on, this was 2020, all the new construction out here from people moving here caused the price of lumber to go up nationwide. And then that other crap hit, which made it go up even higher.
Well, you know, construction is up all over the damn United States, I think. Texas is going nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, everything around here is they building stuff but Amazon's done come in here and put one of their major warehouses here in Waco. Northern Freight done come in here. There's Tractor Supply's got a big warehouse here. There's stuff moving in here from California all over. We got the guy that owns Starlink. I can't think of his name.
Oh, he's down there in Van Horn or something, ain't he?
Well,
no, that's the Amazon guy.
Yeah, they got three places here in Texas that the guy on Starlink got. One of them is about 15 miles from me. Hell, they crank him down. That's where they test the jet motors for the rockets. Yeah. They got a big place right here. Just all kind of stuff moving in Texas. The price of land here in Texas, it is gone up about 10 times in the last 5 years.
Wow. Yeah, Bezos is in Van Horn because that's where him and William Shatner filmed their documentary when he put Shatner in space.
Damn it.
Oh, Blue Wave was in Jacksonville. I should probably call him.
Yeah, yeah, they getting put up everywhere. Well, the damn people manufacturers here in the United States finally got the hell slapped out of them hard enough to realize that they need to start producing that crap here instead of importing it from overseas.
I hope they learned a lesson.
Oh, yeah.
But now we got to get the workforce to man them. But here's what I think: what's wrong with the workforce is you remember back when we were growing up, all these companies had all these incentives. They don't have the incentives anymore.
No. Well, you know what the biggest problem with the workforce around here is? They can't pass a drug test.
That too. That's another thing too. And you know,
I don't do the dope, but they might as well legalize marijuana. I mean,
oh yeah, I've worked with people that was on it for years, right next to somebody and it doesn't affect the way you work.
no.
But we had Cisco was going to build a big warehouse back home, and they backed out of it. They even had the land and everything. They backed out of it, and the reason they backed out of it was because nobody in the county could pass a drug test.
Yeah.
But I mean, you should really stop and think about it. These companies back when I was growing, I remember my mom and dad going to Christmas parties, coming back with nice door prizes, TVs, stuff like that. Companies, the steel mills up in Indiana used to rent Great America in Chicago, the whole park for the whole day. They don't do that no more. Factories used to go to Indiana Beach, family days. They don't do that no more. Insurance. When I first started working, my insurance was free and my family was $3.
Yeah.
And now look at it.
Yeah.
$150 a week now.
That
And you got the lazy kid. Yeah.
Obamacare screwed our medical deal up so bad it won't never get straightened out.
Oh, yeah.
We had the insurance wasn't all that bad before Obamacare come in. God Almighty! Now you don't fool with what doctors say. You fool with what an insurance company says. They let the
no, and it's illegal in this country to practice medicine without a license, but yet the insurance companies do it every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hate that. That gets under my skin.
They won't.
Do something, and then somebody on the telephone at the insurance company says, "Nope, you can't have that."
James, they will never bring a draft back. Dog. If you think about when they dropped the draft, within about 6 months was when they passed all these equal rights for women laws. Well, now, if they brought the draft back tomorrow, the second person getting drafted has to be a woman. And people ain't going to put up with them daughters getting drafted. They put up with them hair-legged boys getting drafted, but they ain't going to put up with women getting drafted.
Yeah.
They won't never bring a draft back. Or if they ever do, it'll be 100%. Be like Israel, where when you turn a certain age, you go to the military for a year.
It should be that way anyway.
Yeah, everywhere. I mean, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Well, companies are here in Texas. You can't walk in a store or place of business that don't have a sign in the window. We're hiring. Apply inside. And I've asked several of them, and they said that's what the deal is. So they can't pass the drug test. And if people want to go to work, but if they've had any dope within the last, if smoking marijuana cigarette, or it might be a prescription. If they've had it in the last 30 days, well, they flunk that test.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't talk to him.
Hey, what time is it anyway? I probably go about another 10 minutes, and I'm gonna have to get off here and turn that generator off.
Yeah, you might as well hang around. We got about 20 more minutes to go, and then we're gonna shut it down anyway.
About 20.
Yeah.
I normally don't run it past 10 o'clock, but we get
All
clouded
right.
up late today on us, and voltage on the battery dropped pretty low. And then she's back here doing this game, and both of these laptops going, it'd suck these batteries
Stuck.
down again.
Yeah.
Because the laptop's 19 volts, both of them.
You know, I've got a 2000 Predator sitting in a box out there. It's been sitting there for 2 years, and I ain't never took it out of the box yet.
Really? That's 3500's out there running right now. Lily says she can't hear it. If she did anything, it'd be barely, because I got it on the 35-foot cable away from the rig,
Yeah.
and the exhaust facing towards the.
Well,
the
that's something sort of new at quiet times on them generators, isn't it?
what's that?
About not running a generator past 10.
No, that's in the LTVAs. Out on the BLM land, you can run it as long as you want. Here, you can run it as long as you want. It's just common courtesies, 10 o'clock usually. I seen a light coming through the woods. That was a car.
Like 3 other things.
Well, even the LTVs, they didn't say anything about that when I was out there that last time. They didn't say nothing about the generators.
They're supposed to. That's been a rule for as long as I know, but they don't really push it unless somebody complains.
Okay. Well, you know, when I was camped, where I was camped at, hell, I was a half mile from anybody.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to have any neighbors compared. And it was cold out there. I had a friend of mine that was camping with me, and she had one of those little runaway campers. And them things don't have any insulation in them. It got cold at night. She'd run that thing.
Have an air pack can run it. Yeah, I think there is some special accommodations. I think that you can run one all night. But I've heard them run all night out there in the LTVAs, and they've never done anything. But now they'll come up on you on a fire, though. If you're under a fire ban and that, somebody complain about the fire, they'll come up on you.
Okay.
Because we had a propane fire during a fire ban, and somebody told them it was a wood fire, and they come out on us, and it wasn't a wood fire, it was a propane fire.
Well, yeah, that's legal, isn't it?
Yeah, as long as it had a valve on it. What it was one of the other, we call them poop cops, because we don't know what else. I don't know what else they're called. That's all I've ever heard them called is poop cops. But they're the ones that sit by the dump station, the water station, the trash station. Well, not so much the trash station, because the dump station can see the water and the trash there at that LTVA. But they set up by the dump station for the Blue Boys, the dump station for the RVs,
I'm afraid to hit too many buttons.
And one by the water. If they've got the manpower, they set one by the water too. But they watch for the stickers on the rigs. If they got the stickers, then they let them go into the dump station. But that's all I've ever heard them called is a poop cop. And if you do that, it's $100. I think you get $100 a month and your site for free for the season. We haven't done it, but
yeah, it ain't gonna let me just stay running.
But it was one of those people that apparently got jealous because we didn't invite them to a fire, I guess. I don't know. The ranger, I was at the next site, and the ranger pulls up at the site that we had the fire at. And I see him, and he's got this thing he's pointing at the fire ring. It was a thermometer is what it was, a digital thermometer. And he's standing there looking at this fire reading with this thermometer, and I walk over because Mike and MJ was gone. They went to town, and I said, "Can I help you?" And they said, "Yeah." Was there a fire here last night? They said, "Yeah, we had a fire." And I said, "That's legal, right?" And he said, "No." And I said, "It was propane." And I said, "That's legal." And he wasn't sure. He had to go back down to the Yuma office to find out whether propane was legal. Because he told me, because I asked him, I said, "That's legal." And he says, "I don't know." And I asked him, I said, "Why are you out here enforcing a law that you don't even know whether it's illegal or not?" And he said, "Well, I'm not going to give you a ticket, but when I get back down to the Yuma office, I'll ask. And if you don't hear from me the rest of the day," he said, "it was legal." And we knew it was legal. We seen it on the website. But then the poop cop told them, because evidently he stopped over there and talked to the guy and told him it was propane fire. Mm-hmm. Well, then here come the ranger back to me and said it was the fire was too high. Now the fire was really high. And I said, "That fire only goes about 8 inches." I said, "I can turn it on right now and show it to you." And I said, "I can turn it on full blast." And he said, "You can do that?" And he goes, "You're willing to do that?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "If you want to see how high this fire goes, I'll turn it on right now." I said, "And we'll prove this guy wrong." And he says, "Oh, no, I believe you. So then he left and went and talked to that guy. And the only time we seen that guy was when he was looking through the bushes at us the rest of the time. But,
You know, some of them get that mentality. They get a little uniform or a little badge, and they've got to push.
Yeah, I don't think they let that guy the following year do that job again, because we didn't see him. We didn't see him anywhere.
I got a park ranger fired out here at Lake Waco, and it was him and his wife in the booth coming in at State Park, and that my wife was pretty bad shape. She was in a wheelchair then, so we got a disabled site, you know. Well, there wasn't but one site there. Well, we backed in there, set the trailer up. Here comes this ranger. He said, "Y'all gonna have to move." I said, "What the hell you mean we're gonna have to move?" He said, "You're in the wrong site. You're supposed to be in the site next to this one." I said, "The site next to this one is not a disabled site, and that's what we had reserved."
Mm-hmm.
Said, "Well, you got to move that trailer." And I said, "You go to hell. You know, I got the reservation. I paid my money, and that trailer's going to sit right there." He said, "Well, I'll call the sheriff." I said, "You want the number? I got it in my pocket." And I gave him the number. I said, "Call him." Well, the sheriff come out there, or the deputy come out there, and I told him what the deal was and showed him my paperwork and stuff, you know. I said, "That guy's nuts." And he said, "Yeah, we have trouble with him all the time." And he come back out there and got up in my face and act like he was wanting to bow up and actually get into it. I said, "Man, you don't want to do that." I turned around and my wife was about to have a fit. And I walked back by her in a minute, and she was on the telephone to the Rangers main office. And in about 30 minutes, they come out here and told him to get him and his wife and that trailer out of that state park, and he was banned from it.
Wow.
You know, he got
that ranger was pretty cool with me that day. Yeah, really nice guy. He just didn't know he just didn't know the laws.
Yeah, and 90% of them know. That's the bad about it. You know more about the law than they do.
Yeah.
In Texas, if it's a major river in Texas, the way the law reads is public property up until the permanent vegetation. Or they're talking about trees or woody type plants. Something's going to be there, not grass or weeds or something. Well, I was supposed to have a friend of mine come in from Holland over here, and he was going to meet us out on the river and take and camp. We were going to camp and fish for the weekend. We were in kayaks. But when I got there, he was breaking camp down, and he was wrong. Now, he set his tent up back in the trees. Well, you can't do that. That's private property. He said, game warden come by and told me he had to break it. Didn't write him a ticket, but he couldn't camp on that river. He just had to be in an organized campground. Well, that's not the law. And so I pulled down there on one of them sandbars and started setting my camp up, put the tent up. And a few minutes, here come that ranger in the airboat. He pulled over and said, "You can't camp here." And I said, "Why not?" He said, "It's private property." I said, "No, it's not." I said, "It's permanent vegetation line. I'm halfway to it. That's all public." And no, said, "If you don't break camp, I'm gonna write you a ticket." And I said, "I'm not gonna be a smart ass, but I'm gonna get something I want you to read." And I always keep a deal in my kayaks of what the laws are on the rivers and keep it in plastic. I walked up there and handed it to him. I said, "Read that." And he went down it and read it, and it explains everything. He said, "Where in the hell did you get this?" And I said, "From Texas Parks and Wildlife website." And I printed it off their website.
Yeah.
He was fixing to write a ticket or threatening to write a ticket and run people off. And that was perfectly legal. He didn't know what the law was.
Yeah, so I feel for the guys sometimes because they get handed the job, but they say they go off for training and that, but they don't train them for the right stuff. And especially a burn ban. That's something that doesn't happen all the time. That's a memo that should have been he definitely should have known what was legal and not legal. Well, even in New Mexico, they had the wrong signs up. We were over there during the burn ban, and the sign in the campground and going into the forest had the gas grill X'd out that you couldn't use it. But when you got to the campsite, they had zip-tied laminated paper with the rules for stage 2, which said you could use a gas cook stove. But all the signs said you couldn't use a gas cook stove. Well, the fire department was driving by right after we got there, and I stopped them. Yeah. And I said, hey, and I said, "I need something explained here." I said, "The fire pit says I can use a gas grill." I said, "But the signs say I can't." And the fireman gets out to look at what I'm talking about, and he looks back at his chief, and he went like this. He just shrugged. And he said, he's right. He says, they say you can't use the gas, but the thing says you can use the gas. And so the fire department says, "You go ahead and use your gas grill." Gave me their name and their number and everything. And then the next day, this forest guy was out there changing all the signs by the campgrounds to where you could use the gas grills. He was a pretty nice guy, too.
Yeah. James, you have a good night now.
Yeah, good night, James.
Well, fire ban here in Texas is there's about 5 or 6 degrees of it.
There's 3 in New Mexico and Arizona that I know. I don't think there's anything past 3.
But you can take, and up until you get to the last one, you can throw a weenie or a hamburger patty on that fire, and you're using it for a cooking fire. It's legal.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And
no, they got stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. Stage 3 is closure. When they hit stage 3, you got to pack up and leave.
Well, and we got one stage that you can't smoke unless you're in a vehicle.
That's stage 2, I believe.
I think, and that's 4 out here or something. But there's and what they got where they're doing now on these fires is they're going off a satellite. If it's a clear night, they can scan that thing. They pick up every campfire there is, and put GPS coordinates on it, and here they'll come checking it.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, this phone right here, this Google Pixel 4 XL phone, has got a thing on the camera for night. It's not night vision, but it's night sight. It enhances everything. That's where I get all my night shots from. On for this thing. This thing, it don't do real good video, but man, it takes great pictures.
Yeah.
But when we were in New Mexico, we knew about the Hermit's Peak fire. We knew about the Biggs fire. I think it was the name of it. And then me and Scott were out there and we're taking night pictures with this phone. And we got it pointed away from the fires that we knew about. And it took its 4-minute picture and it come to, and the sky, the horizon was orange, like a sunset. And I looked at Scott and I said, man, if I didn't know any better, that's a fire. And he said, no, that ain't no fire. I said, that's not even where the sun sets at. That's got to be a fire. So we break out the fire app that we were using. I don't remember what the name of it was. And sure enough, there was a fire about 50 miles south of us. And you couldn't see it with the naked eye, but this phone picked it up.
Jay, I had a discussion with another vet today about sort of what you're saying. And the people in my generation that went to Vietnam,
Okay.
it's not the same as what it is now. You were an individual then, and you came and went. You weren't in a squad that stayed together and all that kind of stuff. It's a whole different world.
When I was in it in the early 90s, that was still going on. But I don't know if it's there now like it was.
When I was in the service, the one thing they pushed was you're one man army. If you're the only one left, you're supposed to keep fighting.
Yeah.
You know, and they pushed that one man army. Well, now people get together and go through military training, and they may stay together through, if they're activated and they go in a combat zone, well, they stay together and they bring anybody out that gets killed, and it's a whole different damn world. But I see it today all the time is these guys that were used to having that 10 or 12 man group around them for years, and have somebody watching their back. When they get out of the military, they really have a hard time because they don't have that backup anymore.
Yeah.
And my group of people, there wasn't a backup like that. It's a whole different world.
See, and I was in peace during peacetime too. The Desert Shield and the storm, that all ended as I got out of basic, and then it was pretty much peaceful. And then the towers fell. I got reactivated for that, but by then I was having back issues and I couldn't go back in.
It's raining.
What?
Yeah, it's on the game.
Oh. But I had just had back surgery. I had my 4 vertebrae fused, so I couldn't go back in. I did artillery, so the big guns, the 155 howitzers, where you have to lift a 99-pound round and send it down range. Yeah, I couldn't do that no more.
Yeah,
missed it though. God, that was fun.
But it's really apparent when you go to the VA the way the difference. It just it's completely different deal. Yeah, we done made that hour and a half already, Roy.
No, we did, didn't we? Yeah.
Folks, I appreciate it, and it's about time to settle down.
Had fun, Ron. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, enjoyed it. And appreciate everybody coming in tonight, and I hope everybody has a good night. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Later. Yes.